instrumental. I don't have rights to play Ariel. But I don't know if there's a more appropriate song. It's the end of the world as we know it, baby. What's up, man? What's up? How are you? Welcome. It is the Mo Radio Show. It is Business Spotlight number 2. Again, if you're interested, if you're in business and you need promotion like a lot of people do, and you need talked about, and you need help, man. Hey, COVID-19, it's a bitch, huh? All you have to do is email me, themoRadioShow@gmail.com. You can also shoot me a message on Facebook. If you have my number, you can call me. But that's how you do it. Business Spotlight. We've got people getting a hold of me. We're trying to do this at least a couple times a week. I don't want to oversaturate it, but try to get a couple businesses out there that want to promote, that need help in COVID-19. What are your thoughts on all of this? Is it leveling out, as they're saying? It seems as though DeWine in Ohio has done a hell of a job. I don't know what's going on in other places. I don't. You know, you hear these stories about New York and what's going on there. Listen, I'm in a very small area. I can tell you in this area, okay, I don't think people are doing anything. I don't. I don't see much of a change other than the fact you drive by a restaurant that's not open, or at least there's nobody in there, or, just anything that I guess is considered non-essential. But other than that, I don't see much of a change. I give you a couple of examples of BS, one of which I got just destroyed on Facebook with. I shouldn't say destroyed. A couple people destroyed me with it. But I was going into the local Walmart, which, by the way, is the Walmart where the day before somebody who was working there was diagnosed with coronavirus, right? So I had to go in there. But it was just for 2 seconds. It was a pickup order. So I go in and I'm walking out. And as I'm walking out, I see a mother, a father. Listen, we all go to Walmart. I'm not putting down Walmart, but there's a certain breed of people that only go to Walmart. Like people like myself and you, we go to Walmart, but we go to other places. We don't necessarily fit that stereotype of the cliche person that rolls into a Walmart. So this was that cliche younger family, very dirty, beat up truck, young. I would say probably on drugs. I don't know. Is it wrong for me to sit here and judge? But it's a mother, a father, and 2 twins. Okay. About, I'd say 2 years old. They're rolling into the Walmart as a family. Now, again, this is the exact same Walmart where an employee was diagnosed with COVID-19, okay? Rolling in there, the kids have no shoes. So you got 2 kids, the mother and the father, rolling into the Walmart, and the kids have no socks, no shoes on, right? So I threw on Facebook, and I stand by this, and I'll explain why I stand by this, okay? I said the parents should be arrested and the kids should be taken away. Now, let me explain that. That's extreme, Mo, I was told. That's extreme. Why? Why are you living is this communism? Number one, it's not communism, okay? And you want to whip out with it's extreme? Fine. You're entitled to your opinion the way I'm entitled to my opinion. But let me explain something, okay? Why would you put your kids in harm's way? Okay, justify that. Anybody who's arguing with my take of take the kids away, all right? I'm not saying that I was even saying that in all seriousness, but why would you put your children in harm's way? Justify that one for me. Makes no sense. No sense to anybody arguing. That's extreme. Take the kids away. Listen, I have a kid. You know what my goal is throughout the whole day, 24 hours a day. You know what my goal is? Keeping my child out of harm's way. There's some things, obviously, that you cannot prevent. Then there's things you can prevent. And bringing your child into a Walmart where an employee was just diagnosed with coronavirus, bringing them in with no shoes and no socks, which I don't know if that leads you to more exposure with the virus or not. It just makes you look like a friggin' hilljack is what it makes you look like. So again, this is obviously people who didn't care. Boy, man, you can go back on my Facebook and boy, there were some people that were cool with that, and then there were some people who were up in arms. Couple good shows if you want to watch, as I know people are doing. Ozarks is fantastic. I've been watching Ozarks since before this, so Ozarks is good. Everybody's watching this Tiger King. People I've tried. I think I'm on episode 3. It's about maybe halfway through. Having a rough time getting into it. I just am, but I've never been into that reality. I mean, that kind of reality crap. I'm having a rough time getting into it. I just am. I'm trying to. I hear everybody talking about it, but I'm just having a rough time. But Ozarks was great. I want season 4 to start as well. I'm trying to get into some other stuff. There's some good stuff on Netflix. I've been watching things like that. So we're gonna get to Carrie Singleton here in just a second. She's with the Broadview Acres Resort, which is a dog grooming and dog boarding. And it was interesting when I was talking to her on the phone the other day, because I wouldn't have thought that was, a business that was being hurt, and it is. So we'll talk to her about that in just a second. I want to get into another story, because if I do contract coronavirus, this is how it's going to happen. Most of my stories, if you've been listening to me for a long time, always for some reason start at a gas station. I have a rough time with gas stations. I have a rough time with the employees of gas stations. I have a rough time with the people who are in line. It's just a small place. I want to get in and out. All right. I don't expect to sit in a gas station to get a soda or to pay for my gas. I don't expect to be there for more than like 2 seconds, but it always seems like it is. So I get in there the other day, and there's just me. I walk in, and as soon as I get in, I notice a woman about 117 to my right. She's a very old woman. So I'm like, my first thought is, why the hell are you out of the house at your age? But I walk in, I see her. She's looking at some candy or some crap. I just have to get a soda, right? A pop, a Diet Coke. So my goal at this moment is to get to the Diet Coke and get back to the counter before she gets to the counter. Obviously, right? So I roll in. I rush to get my Diet Coke. Now, she's like 2 feet away from the counter. I got to go about 20 feet away from the counter. So I roll, get my my Diet Coke. I run back, and as soon as I get there, she cuts in front of me. She's there. All right. So I'm like, here we go. So I'm waiting. She's got, and I kid you not, she had already a bunch of stuff placed on the counter that I didn't notice. It's all getting rung up. $44 worth of stuff at this gas station. This is not a big gas station. I'm not at a Get-Go or a Sheetz, a Circle K even. It's a very tiny gas station. Now, of course, with coronavirus, I want to get in and out of there as fast as possible. So it's taking her forever. Finally, it's $44. She's having trouble with her card. Of course, I kid you not, waiting there. I'm probably going on 10 minutes now. There's a line forming behind me. Very small gas station. So the girl behind the counter goes, I'll help you with your bags once you're done, which means she's going to put me on hold. Now, listen, the woman was old, elderly. She had a cane. She needed help. There's no doubt about it. So there's a line behind me. The girl down behind the counter is saying, I'm going to help you with your bags. I being the next person in line, say, I'll help her with her bags, thinking you'll get to me faster and you'll get to everybody else, behind me faster. So thank you. You're such a nice guy. You're what a gentleman, what a whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, I just want to get the hell out of here. So all that's done. I help the woman with her stuff. I grab her bag. Okay. As we're walking out the door, she puts her hand, not covered, no gloves, on me. on my bare arm. I need you to help me. In normal times, I'm fine with this. I'll help out. You got to help out, whatever. I'm aggravated, obviously, but it's an old woman. You got to help out. I'm sitting here thinking, this is how I'll get coronavirus. Doing a good deed. No doubt about it. If I'm going to get it, this is how I'm going to get it. Helping out the 100-year-old woman out of the gas station. Guaranteed, this is how I'm going to get it. So that happened on Wednesday. Today's Saturday. So I've not been diagnosed yet. I'm not feeling symptoms. But if I get it, I guarantee I get it from her. Stay home. Stay home. Stay home, number one, so you don't get coronavirus. Stay home, number two, so you don't aggravate me. Okay? And again, nobody's following it. I don't know how Ohio is flattening the curve, as they're saying, because I just don't see it. You go by any place you can go by, and there's people there. Normally, this would be the happiest time of my life where I don't have to run into people. Again, tiny gas station, there's huge lines. Going into any supermarket, huge lines. I'm running into people left and right with this crap. All right. So listen, nothing's changed with me, man. That's it. That's what I'm doing during these times. Watching TV, no sports, unfortunately. I'm not on ESPN 970 right now because of this. Charlie from Eagleville is watching. What's up, Charlie? One of my loyal listeners at ESPN 970. And that's it. Playing with the kid, man. Playing with the kid and doing what I can do in these crazy ass times, man. COVID-19. We're living something that we've never lived before. And I know there are a lot of businesses suffering, and that's why I decided to do this. All right, let's get to I see Carrie is here. I will click and get her in there with her dog. What's up, Carrie? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I cannot hear you. Hang on. Is your hang on for a second. I know why. Tell me, are you locked in the pond? I had to turn that down. What's up, Carrie? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I forgot I didn't turn the music off. Well, look at that dog. What's the dog's name?
This is Rip, my little sidekick.
Your what?
My little sidekick.
Hey, what's up, man? Look at that dog. All right, so you got a hold of me the other day, and it was a business because I think even when I called you, I was like, listen, man, I'm trying to find businesses that are really suffering, and I guess a dog boarding grooming establishment was something that it's funny because you don't realize everybody that this is affecting. You know, like all the businesses that are potentially affected. And as I was thinking about it, as I was talking to you, I'm going, well, that makes sense. People are not going on vacation. People are not going to work. Obviously, you can't bring your dog in to get groomed because of the social distancing thing. So kind of tell people about your business and obviously how you're dealing with everything that's going on.
Well, we do boarding and daycare and grooming. And the week that the World Health Organization stated that it was a pandemic, that's when everything pretty much went down the tubes. We went from, this is our peak time right now, from March until the kids go back to school. That's when we're busy. And so we went from a whole over 80 dogs for Easter for Bright this weekend to 2. So wow. To watch that happen to a business that you've taken care of for 10 years, just everything just going away right in front of you was traumatic. It's still traumatic. So it was hard on my staff. I mean, these girls, they love these dogs. They love their job. They would work for free, but there's nobody to take care of right now. Wow. Everybody's home and everybody's trips were canceled. So it's been a rough couple of weeks for sure.
Now you said your business usually is doing well around this time. You've had to lay off your staff. Now they were actually employees at your establishment?
Yes, I have 2 locations. One's in Austintown and one's in Lordstown. And I have 6 of us, including me, that run both locations. And they all had to be laid off. My groomer, of course, she is not allowed to groom. We're allowed to be open. I called the county, I called Columbus. We are allowed to be open for boarding, but nobody's going anywhere. Everybody's vacations have been canceled. Nobody's working. There's no dog daycare. So it's been tough. It's been really tough I will say that.
So they have your employees. I was reading. I think we were up to. I could be wrong with the numbers, but I know it's in the tens of millions of people that have filed for unemployment. Were your employees able to get unemployment right now?
Yes, my girls were a couple of them are still working. They work at a vet clinic. So she's still working, thank goodness. But my groomer, she's not allowed to work. My other girls, yeah, they've all filed and they've, thank God. You wish I could, do more for them. It was heartbreaking, lots of tears, and we couldn't even hug each other. So
Right.
it stinks. But we're doing what we can.
I think that's something that not a lot of people are bringing up. Obviously, you're in a really messed up situation, being the owner and operator, because you want to be able to help these people. Like you said, they're your family. There's tears, but you can't do anything. You can't just continue to pay people when there's no money coming in. A lot of times it's and I've talked about this for years. I have admiration for people who started their own business. You're your own boss. It's usually, I would say, a great position to be in. But I think we're learning in these times, man, something we never could have foreseen happening, where there's a huge downfall with being your own business. With the fact that you could just shut things down, just like that, snap of the finger. And as you said, you're not shut down, but who's going to bring their dog in when they don't really need to? And quite frankly, they don't have the money to do it right now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can't collect unemployment personally. So, I'd love to be able to help my girls out, but I'm in the same boat. But
Right.
at least they have a little bit that they can get, to keep them going. I'm fortunate that I'm okay for right now. All my lenders, my accountant, I mean, everybody has been unbelievably accommodating for all of this. I do have to say that.
Now, are you capable of receiving that, or eligible of receiving that, the business loan that they were offering?
Yeah, I applied for the PPP program loan. We'll see. I mean, I'm not, that's more geared toward my employees, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out because I don't have dogs for them. I don't have work for them.
Right.
So I haven't heard anything back yet. I applied for the grant, nothing on that yet either. And nobody in this industry that I've talked to around the country has heard anything. I've yet to hear of one person who's actually gotten, something yet. So, I'm keeping my hopes up and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but at the same time, I'm preparing for it, not to happen. And, what do we do then? So I'm always thinking, what's going to be next? Without trying to be crazy. So
No, but I mean, how can you not be crazy? Your livelihood's taken away one day. It's just taken away. I mean, how can you? I'm actually surprised that people are not breaking down. Like, this hasn't somewhat become. I'm not trying to be dramatic, like go to that extent, but hasn't somewhat become like the purge or something where, it's. I really mean that, because everything's been taken away, just like.
yeah,
That. And I'll be honest, man, the way we're handling it, I'm surprised. We're handling it. It seems to be, for the most part, in a professional way, society, which I didn't see happening. But there hasn't been just people going insane. I thought that there would be riots on the streets by now. I mean, we're going on next week. It's going to be a month, which seems like it's okay. It's just a month, but I think you realize how much we depend on things, and especially you business owners and everything that you're dealing with. Give us your website and kind of tell us. Obviously people are not bringing their dogs in, for you to board, but kind of other ways that, people can help you if you do have pets.
well, I mean, it's BroadviewAcresResort.com. We're on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And I mean, there's really not a whole lot, anybody can do. I mean, I've had customers send me donations, which was completely unexpected. I mean, they've been amazing during all this. When they would call to cancel, they would apologize. I mean, it's wonderful that they've been so great. But when the time comes and it's time to start getting out there again, bring me your dog. I know you're going to be sick of them by then. So, bring them for daycare, bring them to play for the day, bring them for the weekend, take the kids to, whatever's open at that time. So, that's really, I'm looking toward the future of, what we can do when this is lifted, I guess.
I just didn't know if people could like buy products off your website or things like that, possibly.
Yeah, we don't sell anything. We don't, it's solely, people bringing me their animals.
Right.
The grooming and the boarding, long time boarding. So that's my, bread and butter. And right now it's the bread and butter thing. So
is it like a resort for these dogs? Like an awesome place for these I don't know how you do it, man. I love animals. I do. But the thing about animals, they're tough to control sometimes. It's
controlled chaos. I mean, we do leash nature walks out on the property. We have cuddle time for the dog. We have warm heated meals if they get that. They have nice beds and heated floors and air conditioning and television and
hang on. Heated floors?
Oh yeah, they have nice warm heated floors in the winter and air conditioning in the summer. So yeah, they have it better here, I think, than some dogs might at home.
I got cold ass hardwood floors, man. I don't have heated floors. God, man. There are people that really treat these dogs like, some of these owners, and I love it, by the way. I've always had this conundrum when it comes to animals. Like, I love animals. I love them. I've always been an animal lover. But I've always never put them in the category as humans. I've had these conversations on the air before about that. People, and I'm not damning anybody. I'm sure you're maybe one of these people that they are your family. They're like your children. They're like, whatever. And I've always thrown these like crazy scenarios against, pet owners, and it's amazing the lengths they go to. And how they feel about their animals. So I assume that people who are sending them there, I mean, some of these animals are living the life, man. Their owners just treat them like they're gold.
Oh yeah, they come with their Gucci collars and their every meal is bagged and planned and portioned, and their blankets and their toys, and we do whatever the owners want us to. That's that's our job, is to keep their pooches pampered while they're here. So.
Gucci collar? Who can afford Gucci in the Youngstown, Austintown area?
Oh, you'd be surprised. people will spend anything on their dogs. They love, they're their kids. And anymore, more people are having dogs as children as opposed to actually having children. So we see that's a huge trend right now with the whole millennial. They love their dogs and they don't care how much it costs. They want the best for them. So
is that what it is? They're actually getting the animals in lieu of having children.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of people who don't have kids and just have dogs. They've chosen not to. They work. They're career oriented, and they have their dogs. And they have stringent requests when they stay with us, and we do everything we can to keep them and their dogs happy while they're here.
Again, we got Carrie Singleton on. She's with Broadview Acres Resort, a dog boarding establishment and grooming. Can you, without giving a name, give me one of the strangest, craziest requests you've had?
I had a lady bring pajamas and raincoats and sweaters for every day the dogs were here. So at night we had to put their pajamas on, and sweaters and raincoats, we get that all the time. That's no big deal. The pajamas with the whole nightcap at night was interesting.
Okay, can they actually see you do this? Like, do you have to take a picture every night to prove that you've done?
We take pictures. I mean, a lot of my customers have our cell phones, so we're in constant contact with them all the time. We send pictures, we send videos. Everything's,
Hang on, Carrie. You had to put on pajamas and a nightcap. What kind of, tell me it wasn't like a pit bull or something. It's like,
it was a little frou-frou dog, but I mean, it was, it's what they wanted, and that's what they do at home. And so that's what we do.
The dog does. This is what I'm saying. This is what people even do with their kids. The dog does not want to be dressed in pajamas and a hat. when it goes to sleep. You're doing this as the owner. You're not thinking of the dog when you're doing this crap. Come on, people, get on. Was the dog excited about this?
No,
was he happy?
The dogs don't care. They're used to it. It's their schedule. Dogs, they have in a schedule, and so when it's time to put jammies on and get their, bedtime snack, that's what we do. So.
I could see a dog just sitting there. Like my kid doesn't want to put on his pajamas at night or brush his teeth or anything. I can see, there's no way a dog, I can't see they're just being complacent while you're putting on, pajamas and a hat. Did you have to like?
It had a little band.
There's nobody wants that.
A little onesie, and it was quite interesting.
Nobody wants. Did the dog fight it, or was it cool with it?
It was fine. And I think it actually got cold at night. And so, it didn't have a lot of hair and it was a little older. So I think it liked that extra warmth, I guess.
I mean, they have fur. I don't know. I always see that. Like I see dogs with the going around with the sweaters on. I think they have fur. I mean, here's my question. How did dogs live without humans? Because they have. So why are we doing all this crap? I mean, come on. They've been on Earth longer than humans.
Because they're our kids. Because we don't have babies. They don't have babies to dress up. So they got to dress up their kids. So.
That's funny. That's crazy. I mean, hey, good for them. Like I'm kind of mocking it, but hey, it's your dog. If you feel that is good, do what you want. It makes me laugh for things. So with the, how often, I guess I get to ask you about grooming. I don't know much about it, but how often should a dog get groomed, I guess? And then like, what kind of dogs maybe need to be groomed more than others? And I assume you've got to have some. You said you have employees that actually do the grooming. I would never want that job because, I mean, I have my girlfriend has a little dog, and it like when you try to do anything with that dog, man, it's like nice and complacent, but you go near certain things and it's snapping at you a little bit, or it doesn't like it, and I'm always worried. Like I love animals, but and I think a lot of people have to be like this too. I'm sure you could concur, but you got to be very cautious with them because you don't know. And I'm trying to teach my son that now too, because he loves animals. It's like, listen, don't just walk up to a dog. Don't just walk up to something. We saw a cat the other day just running around. I said, don't just walk up to that cat, because you never know, what could happen. So I know it's like 30 different questions, I guess, but how often should you groom your dog, and what kind of dogs need more maintenance and things like that?
Well, the little guys like Rip here, they should get groomed like every 4 to 6 weeks. We have people who come every 2 weeks for grooming and for a bath and a nail trim. So that's been really hard, and it's been hard to get people to understand that it's not just us saying no, we're not allowed. I mean, I could get in really big trouble if we did grooming. So and we have regular people who are booked months out for grooming that have their regular standing appointments. It's just like your hair. You get your hair cut every 4 weeks, once a month.
I don't actually. I'm terrible with getting my hair cut. I hate. To me, I'm sitting there doing nothing. So I really get irritated as I'm letting it grow out again longer. But it's just I haven't got my hair cut in a long time. But it's just you're sitting there for 15 minutes, and to me, 15 minutes is an eternity. I hate saying, as you heard with my story about the gas stations. I hate being in a place just complacent, doing nothing, especially when I'm out of the house. When I'm out of the house, I always have an agenda or something going on. So, but there's certain dogs I would assume that don't need. Oh, maybe I guess with the nails, they would need it every 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah, nails are the big thing, especially right now. Everybody's like, what do I do about my nails? My dog's nails, because they're, they get them trimmed every 3-4 weeks, and we're headed into a month now. And who knows how much longer, hopefully not much longer, but, they're trying to think of things they can do at home, which is kind of scary, but it's, you got to do what you got to do. So
do dogs have, I think I know the answer to this, but do they have nerves in their nails? So it actually hurts when they get cut?
Yes, they have what's called a quick, and it's the blood vessel and the nerve ending that is in the nail. So with dogs with light colored nails, you can see it, and you can kind of trim it yourself because you can see that. But the majority of the public is really afraid to do their dog's nails, and because you can cut it, they bleed forever, and it's painful for the dogs. So run them on some cement. That's the best thing I can tell everybody. Take them for a walk on where there's cement. that'll wear them down in between now and when we can get them in again. That's the
I think I saw was it a scene on TV thing where they have a thing for the dog's nails where it kind of grinds it down? Am I right on that? I was actually thinking about getting it for the dog here because his nails get out of hand. So is that something that works? I don't know if you have to endorse it, I guess, but just in these times, I guess.
Yeah, you could try it. I mean, it doesn't really have a strong enough RPM that's actually going to do anything. I have one, I just wanted to try it. So, but if you have like a lab or a Great Dane or some giant breed with those huge toenails, you'll burn that little thing up faster than you could ever get rid of a nail. So just wait, they'll be fine. Wait till
hook it up to your car battery. There you go. Just
no, out.
You probably run into this. It's got to be, I would say very frustrating for you, but seeing people who get like, dogs that really need a lot of attention, a lot of outside work, and people who are just kind of getting into a circumstance that they don't know how to handle. You got the smaller dogs that are usually, obviously easier to maintain, and then some people just want these bigger dogs.
Yeah.
I assume that's something that's got to be just somewhat heartbreaking and frustrating for you to see something like that.
Yeah.
How much work is it? I mean, to have and maintain it and keep a good quality of life for an animal.
Well, I mean, they're like kids. I mean, they like schedules. They like to do the same thing every day at the same time. You have to feed them. They have to take care of them. They have to make sure they have medical care if they need it. Their vaccines every year. So it's a lot of it's something that you really have to want to do and put in the work with it, in training too. The bigger the dog, the bigger the piles in your yard, the bigger the couch that they're going to chew up. So it's all about how much you're willing to take on. I mean, animals are wonderful, and they keep you calm, like Rip is right now, and they're great. I love the dogs. I miss them all so much. All my customers are regulars and come all the time. We really miss them. But dogs are wonderful. I say everybody should have a dog at least once in their lifetime to experience. There's nothing like coming home to a dog who doesn't care about what you look like, doesn't care about how your day was. They just want to sit on your lap and just be with you. So
I see a growing trend of service dogs. You see them out a lot. Explain why you're not. Everybody wants to pet them, but you're not supposed to. Kind of explain to why that is. Why are you not supposed to really interact with the service dogs?
Well, because they're working, and when they're out with their owners, seeing eye dogs, emotional support dogs, which I know has a lot of kind of negative connotation.
I'm not going to say anything. I have my own thoughts on that. I don't know. I'm sure I'm sure there's some people who need them. I mean, everybody does. People are lonely. People need love. People need that. But I also probably feel that there was a South Park episode years ago where it showed it may have been the movie, or I don't think it was the movie, but Paris Hilton's dog committed suicide. And I think there's probably circumstances like that where the dog just wants to get the hell out of there. I mean, because people are crazy. But, I can see that, but I know you're not supposed to, with the service dogs. I just, kind of what is the mentality behind that?
Yeah, because they're working. They're doing their job. That's what those dogs are trained to do. Their whole life has been working up to that moment of, taking somebody across the street or alerting someone of when their owner's going to have a seizure. I mean, that's their whole life.
How does a dog? I'll tell you what, man. Dogs are. I guess the intuition and the instinct that they have. I have a friend who's a couple of friends actually who have police canines, and it is amazing to what these dogs are capable of. How is it that a dog can know that you're going to have a seizure before you have one?
They can smell it. They smell the sugar in your metabolism. Your odor changes. Everybody's somebody has an odor, and dogs can smell, from miles away. So when they're with you all the time, they know when something's up. They can smell cancer. They can smell, any kind of blood changes.
They smell coronavirus. have dogs just lined up like in front of Walmart or something and just sniffing you before you go in. If they can smell for pots, why can't they smell for coronavirus? Like, can we use dogs for that? Because I don't think they can contract it, right?
Possibly, yeah. That's a good possibility that might be in the near future.
We have no tests, so we'll use a dog, and the dog will tell you whether you have COVID-19.
Right. Yeah.
So they could smell cancer. Are dogs actually? I've never heard of that. Are dogs actually trained to do that?
Yeah, they train them. There's specific dogs who are more sensitive to that, but they have dogs that are specifically trained to, just like the dogs that smell at the airport when they smell your luggage. It's the same thing.
Right.
They're trained to smell drugs and things that shouldn't be there, and dogs that are trained to smell cancer and diabetics. And
how do you even train a dog to do that? Do you have to get like some tumor out of a body? And
I don't know. I don't know all the training involved, and I think it's just certain dogs just pick up on it, and so then they go with that. So I'm not real good on that aspect, but I know.
I said that's just amazing that they could do that.
Yeah, it is. So look for your next corona smelling dog, I guess.
That's what we need, man. This whole thing could have been done. We could have just had them out of the airport, like you said, smelling for drugs, and none of these dopes with COVID-19 would have gotten into this country, and we'd be fine right
now. Yeah. That would be good.
And then the NBA playoffs would be starting right now, and everything else.
Right. Yeah.
It is absolutely fascinating that they're able to do that. I got into a conversation. This is going back years ago. And I did it to irritate, but I thought I was right on this. There's always the argument between what animal is smarter, dogs or cats, and I kind of said that cats are smarter, and I heard this, and I like dogs more. Don't get me wrong, I do. Animals love me. There's a cat back at my girlfriend's parents' house that won't go near anybody. But the cat loves me. Their dog. They actually make a joke. They go. Kids and animals love him. And it's so weird because my reputation on the radio and how I am, I'm an irritable person. But for some reason, animals and kids love me. So I had this argument. I said because cats do their own thing. They don't really listen. They're not really trainable. Dogs, like people say, my dog's so smart because he rolls over. My dog's so, and it is. It's cool to see a dog do that stuff. But isn't it really true that they're actually easily manipulated, and that's why they're doing that? When a dog is actually being stubborn, doing his own thing, doesn't it actually mean that dog's smarter? Am I right or wrong on that?
Well, yeah, there's dogs that are extremely food motivated and will do anything for a treat, and then there's dogs that they don't care. They want to do what they want to do. So a lot of that's breeding, and different breeds are specifically geared to do certain things.
That's not what I asked. I said, are they smarter or not?
Well, I don't know. I think cats got it. They might be a little bit because
right. I had people argue with me on that. They go, well, a dog will fetch a ball. I go, you don't understand. The dog will do it because it's easily manipulated. The fact that you can't teach a cat to do certain things or whatever, it just means the cat's stubborn and it's thinking its own way is
right.
what,
Yeah, cats do what they want to do. Yeah, I agree.
What do you think about, I'm just thinking of questions about animal questions, I guess, just off the top of my head. What do you think about this? Isn't it called like you're basically breeding like a synthetic dog where like there's no allergies? You could make a dog that normally is highly, you're a lot of people are allergic to. You can make a dog not allergic. You can make a dog not shed. You can make like basically you're creating animals. And I'm not even sure exactly like genetic mutation or however that works, but as an animal lover, what are your thoughts on that?
It all is about responsible breeding. That's what it comes down to for me, because there's so many dogs that are in the pound right now and are being euthanized because nobody wants them. So when you get into the breeding of of dogs to get specific traits, to get this, to get that. That's all fine and dandy, but what about all the dogs that are in the pound? And then you're charging these crazy amounts of money for essentially mongrels. I mean, we have tons of doodles and Bernedoodles and golden doodles and every doodle you can imagine, because everything's bred with a doodle now, and they're great. I mean, they're wonderful animals, but it's the backyard breeders who are doing it just to make a quick buck that make me mad.
Yeah, I'm talking like, how do you make a dog like not like where you're not allergic to them? Like, how are they doing that? Because that's got to be where like they're using genetics, right, to do something like that. You're not breeding. Where are you breeding with a dog that's not? Is it breeding or creating it?
You're breeding it. Like, that would be like Rip. Rip is a purebred hair. He's a non-shedding breed.
Okay.
So everybody wants to breed. He's a Bichon Frise, so they don't shed. They're hypoallergenic. His hair is like cotton. It's so soft. And so then they come along and they breed him with a Cocker Spaniel. So then they might get a cool color that you would never get with this breed, but that'll have his hair. So you get these, wild colors, and that's what it's about. It's getting dogs that people who I guess have allergies could never get, but with interbreeding, then all of a sudden they can get that. But then when you don't have a responsible breeder who's looking at genetics and disposition and intelligence, and they're just breeding to get these crazy mixes that they can charge millions of dollars for, that's when you get into trouble. Because then these people don't know, what to do with them. Some of them are a little cuckoo upstairs because it's just bad breeding. But you can have that with purebred dogs too. But it's taken on a life of its own, the whole crossbreeding to get this and that, and then it gets into health problems with dogs that are bred together that shouldn't be. So they have
kind of playing with nature a little bit, like kind of.
You're totally playing with nature, and it's people who don't know what they're doing. So that's what the scary part is. So yeah.
So you were saying, like, obviously, instead of doing that, go to the pound. Obviously, all the dogs that are there. The issue with that is, at least with me, number one, you don't know how that dog was raised. Unfortunately, there's so many dogs that are mistreated, and and you can't blame the dog, but they're aggressive because it's a defense mechanism, obviously. So there's that, and then I've looked in the past, and it's all pit bulls, as well. With that, I've had the argument with pit bulls for years, and I've always said this about pit bull owners. I've never met a group of people that are more adamant and social than pit bull owners. I've been attacked by a million different people. Pit bull owners and lovers come out of the woodwork. If I would have a conversation about them, I'd be getting calls and emails from Sweden. I'm being honest about, hey, I heard you talk about this. There's obviously a major dialogue, and it's a close-knit community. With that. My argument, what I've always said about pit bulls, all right, is, and I was snapped at by a pit bull once that somebody said it was nice. It was a nice dog or whatever, and snapped at me. There are certain dogs that are very territorial. There are certain dogs that are just, like you said, there's certain dogs that love treats. There's certain dogs that are they have personalities just because of their breed, I guess. My argument with pit bulls has always been, unless you're going to invest the time, because they do take more time, then you're doing the dog a disservice, and you're really putting people in danger, because they do have the ability to. It's not that they're maybe more dangerous, but they are more dangerous because of their physical attributes. People say, well, Chihuahuas bite more. Well, Chihuahua is going to kill you if it bites you. A pit bull will. So the fact that there's so many people who get them who are not responsible with them, I think that's the big problem. That's always been my argument when it came to pit bulls. Now, me personally, I've always said, with a million different breeds out there, I'd never get one. And I do believe, now, if you want to say I'm right or wrong on this, that's fine, and it's my opinion. I believe, as I was talking about with why would you take your kids out right now and put them in harm's way, People who have pit bulls with kids, I've always had an issue with, because again, you're increasing, and maybe I'm overly paranoid, I don't know, but you're increasing the risk of your child getting hurt with that kind of a dog. So that's always been kind of my mentality. But I'm sure that obviously you're more knowledgeable on the subject of dogs, whatever, if you want to kind of interject and give me your opinion on that.
Well, it's how they're raised. That's all it comes down to. I mean, any breed. I don't care if it's a pit bull, a German Shepherd, a Chihuahua. It's all about how that animal has been treated from the day it was born. So
Right.
you can have, I have some of the most amazing pit bull guests, boarders that stay with me. They're just the sweetest, kindest, wouldn't hurt a fly dogs. And then I have, other ones that are not notoriously, mean, that would just rip your face off. So
Right.
it's hard for me to, I can't say anything bad about really any dog or any breed, because it's how that dog was raised. It's the time and effort that the people who got it or own it put into it. Any dog can turn into a nightmare.
Why are there certain dogs that don't then? Like I have never heard. Okay, now people will say the median, that's fine, but I have never heard of a collie or ripping somebody's face off. I've never heard of that. So I guess what I'm asking is, there's every breed of dog needs to be raised and trained a certain way, I guess is what I'm saying. Correct on that?
Right. Yes, they should be. They need work. Some breeds just need more work. They need more of an assertive owner. Not every breed is right for every person. And I think that I've always thought in the past that I should start having a class for people interested in getting dogs, because they get these dogs because they see it in a movie or they see it on TV and they think, oh my God, that'd be an awesome dog. And then they get it and they have no idea that dog has is a guard dog. It wants to, that's its primal instinct, is to protect you. Even if it's detrimental to people coming into your house, that's what that dog was bred to do. And it's fine, and if you're not knowledgeable enough to be able to, I guess, control those urges, or to train that dog, or that's not how we act, that's when we have dog bites, and that's when we have kids getting bit, and that's a whole other issue with the pit bulls and the kids, and or any.
It's terrifying. I see a pit bull running around free, and I'm like, get in. What are you doing, man, with this? Because I'm not. You can't blame the dog. I don't blame the dog itself, because the dog doesn't know any better. I understand that, but it's still it's a lethal weapon out there sometimes, and the fact that it does have the ability to kill people who it contact with, it's scary.
Yes, and I have firsthand knowledge of that, because I have my other dog. He's a Great Pyrenees. He's a 140-pound giant, looks like a polar bear. And those dogs are notoriously, herding or guard dogs for sheep. And they're supposed to love children and love, small animals and take care of them and want to protect them. Well, my dog wants to eat everyone. So it's like, you just don't know. And I mean, he was raised with people, and he was trained, and you just don't know. But you have to be willing to, be responsible for what he might do. And so, he's our guard dog. He's out when no one else is here. He guards the property, and he's fantastic at it. But I would never trust him with children or strangers. So, and I know that, and it's okay, because he's my dog and I love him, and I'm aware of his, downfalls, but I'm responsible enough to know what kind of situations I can put him in. And that's where I think a lot of people, they think that they know what they're doing and that their dog's going to be okay, and they really don't, and then horrible things happen. So,
are there I had I guess kind of another dog question. I'm trying to think of what it was here. What the hell was it? It was a good one too, Carrie. I'm trying to think of what it was. It had to deal with the with those kind of dogs. Oh, you know what it is? Because and this is just a personal, I guess, narcissistic question, but as I was kind of saying, like animals have always been geared towards me. They trust me. They love me. I can't almost explain it. Like I said, like kids and animals. Can animals like sense a good person or things like that? Are they capable? Like when I first met my girlfriend, the first thing she did, she had a dog that was a little tiny dog, and it's the dog that's here now that was notorious for biting people if they came in the house. He just did it. He like took one little tiny snap at me one time, and then he became my best friend.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
whatever. So, and he'd never known me. I didn't raise him. He was quite, he was older when he met me, but it was just something about that. So can dogs really do that? They can sense a good person or a bad person?
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that 100%. I mean, I see it every day. I mean, they, some dogs take a while, a little bit longer to build up a trust. Dogs need that trust. They need to feel secure that you're the boss, you're the boss and you're going to make the rules and the decisions for them. And once that happens, then yeah, I 100%. But dogs are innate in their ability to, I guess, tell who's okay and who's not. So I always trust my dog. And if somebody, comes over that isn't real fond of the dog, I have to question, well, why? How can you
just
not
like animals, man. I mean, some people just don't. I mean,
yeah.
so would that be it reminds me of that movie Something About Mary, where she would bring the guy over with the dog, and the dog had to be, like I guess was the final straw. Like if you did, I don't know if you're married or not or whatever, but if you did bring home a guy and your dog just didn't like them, would that be and he's a great dude. He treats you well. Everything's fantastic. Yeah, he's good looking. He's whatever. He's, just everything's going right. It seems like he's perfect. But for some reason, your dog is just not into him. Would that be a breaking point where you would not go further with that relationship just because the dog, for some reason, didn't like him?
For me,
would you trust the dog?
That would have to be. I mean, for me, my life is these dogs. I mean,
Right.
There's barking all the time at my house. You have to like animals to be.
But even if he did like the animals, like he was trying to go, but for some reason, your dog, the intuition or whatever, just didn't. Isn't it true that there's just some dogs who don't like certain people, even if they're not bad? Like there's some dogs that don't like men, or there's some dogs that don't like women. Like there are things like that, So I'm just asking, as somebody who's very knowledgeable and loves dogs, if one of your dogs, like the dog you got on your lap there, just was very just hostile towards somebody for no, and he seems like just a docile dog, was hostile, would you be like, I can't go on with this because I'm trusting my dog's intuition?
That's a red flag. Yeah, definitely. Definite red flag. So yeah, I don't think I could, be with someone who didn't love dogs. I mean, just yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. Hey, listen, man, I'm just trying to have you on, and I think of random questions. I don't really prepare for these, but so I've had a lot of questions about it because I've had so many conversations about dogs on the air, and I've had professionals call, and talk about it, but it just seems so fascinating. And the big deal, it's just like with anything in this world, people have no responsibility. You have kids and you can't afford them, and then your kids suffer and your kids act out. So whenever I see a kid acting out, or I see whatever, especially at the age of 2 or 3 or whatever, it's like, it's not his fault. It's the parents. It's the parents that are like the idiots who brought their kids into Walmart with no shoes and socks. The whole family, they're idiots. And I look at these kids and I'm like, they're going to turn around and they're going to be a detriment, and they're going to be bad kids, and they don't know any better because they weren't taught any better. And it's the same thing with a dog. It's like you have this added responsibility. Take it seriously. Do the right thing so something bad doesn't happen, right?
Right. Absolutely. They're your responsibility ultimately. So, take care of them and give them a good start so that you don't have a bad ending.
Now, do you agree with to properly discipline a dog? There's always the argument, if he creps on the floor, you rub his nose in it. Do you ever smack a dog on the butt? Do you ever do any of that, or is that always no good?
We're all positive reinforcement here. When the dogs stay with us, it's kind of like the dog's vacation too. So we don't have any rules here whatsoever. The dogs do whatever they want.
I just mean personally, like how you train a dog. I'm not trying to say what you guys do there, but when training a dog, like are you supposed to smack him if he's whatever or nothing like that?
I don't get on with
Okay.
uh, that train. I believe in positive reinforcement. I mean, dogs will react how you react. So if the dog does something that you don't want it to, and you freak out and I don't know, hit it or do something like that, it's going to remember that. And so then you're implementing fear into that animal, which is that's when we start getting dog bites, and that's when they start, because they think everybody who comes near them with their hand is going to hit them. So then they're going to snap back. So I
Dogs
don't.
they don't figure that out, that they only got smacked. Listen, I don't. I've never raised a dog, to be honest with you. The dog that I'm around now is already raised, so I've never raised a dog from infant stages and whatnot. So I'm just saying, like, don't they then remember, like, all right, if I crap on the floor, I'm going to get smacked, or if I go to, do they remember it like that, or they just think they're going to get hit at random times? They don't recognize that they did something wrong.
I mean, they do, and I think for the majority, it's repetition. When you get a puppy, like with him, when we got him, it's going outside constantly. And when they do what they're supposed to do outside, you praise them like they, won the lottery every time. So then they know, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do so that I get, mommy to love me more.
Right.
So, and then the food comes in with the treats and training with that. So it's reinforcing positive behavior, and kind of, I don't want to say ignoring bad behavior, but not making a big deal about bad behavior, because they're dogs. They're, they reason to a certain extent, but they're still animals. And
Right.
so when yelling and screaming at a dog for doing something, does it really, it might know what you're talking about, but at the same time, it just hears you. It's like the Charlie Brown, the wah, 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 wah.
Right.
That's all they, know. So it's positive, being positive and rewarding them for good things, and not making a big deal about bad things.
Now, when they train dogs, I know that there's some collars that when you pull, it gets tight around their neck, and I've heard people say that that's how you're supposed to train a dog, and I've seen it. It does seem brutal sometimes the way they do that, right or wrong.
Yeah, I'm not big on like prong collars and shock collars and things like that, because it hurts. I've put a shock collar on myself just because I wanted to see what that feels like, and it is not coming. I mean, it hurts.
You get shocked. Who wants to be shocked? It hurts when you rub your feet on a carpet and touch a doorknob. I mean,
You have an electrode on your throat, on your skin, and
right.
so I don't get into any of that. If you're doing what you should and you're really putting the time in with the animal, you shouldn't need to do that kind of stuff. So I'm not big on pain as a motivating factor for dog training, because
Right.
I've seen it, and it doesn't always work. So
Yeah. All right. So, Carrie Singleton, again, you own Broadview Acres Resort. It's you got one in Austintown, you got one in Lordstown. Obviously, you're another business suffering because of COVID-19. I'm going to give you a kind of last few minutes here to kind of promote yourself. How can people help, and kind of tell us about? I know we talked about it at the beginning of the show as well, but tell us about your establishments. Why should people take their dogs there for? I mean, obviously you love animals, you know what you're talking about. But why should people, when we do get out of this quarantine, take their dogs to you to get groomed, to get boarded, and kind of sell yourself here?
okay. Well, I've been doing this for my whole life, but we've been open. We just had our 10-year anniversary last year. Um, and we love animals. And that's our life. I mean, the girls that work for me, the people that come here, they're like family. We know them, we know their dogs, we take care of them, we know things that are going on in their lives. We're a big family, and we go above and beyond with the dogs. I mean, whatever the customer wants or the owners want, that's what we do. We've taken dogs to home shuttle services for them when they couldn't get here. We've dropped them off, we've picked them up, all hours. I mean, if you can name it, it's probably happened. So we just love them, and we want to be there to take care of them when you need somewhere for them to go, or when you're going on vacation. So when this is all over, the best thing you can do for us is call us, go on vacation, take your kids away. If you need groomed, we'll be open. We'll be working probably 24 hours a day to catch up with everybody, but we'll get you in. We have 2 locations, one in Austintown and one in Lordstown. And, just call us. Whatever we can do for you and for your pet, then we'll do our best to make sure that happens.
And what's your phone number?
330-349-4052.
All right, Carrie, listen, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. I hope things get better for you and obviously all the businesses out there. I'm sure you're stressing every day over this.
Yeah.
This is your livelihood. This is what you do, and it's been taken away. So I can't imagine what you're going through with it. And that's why I started doing these business spotlights, and hopefully it helps. That's all I can tell you. And hopefully things, kind of, they're saying that the curb is being flattened a little bit, whatever the hell that means. And in areas like ours, it seems like, from what I've heard, I guess, that they're saying May, is when things should start opening up. Now, again, in New York City or wherever, they're saying it might be a little longer, but in these areas, hopefully that's when, everything will be taken care of. And I'm going to stress this again too, because I just believe in what this guy's saying. But if anybody wants to know what's going on with this, and I really mean this, right? There's a radio guy you can catch on Spotify or whatever. I'm promoting him. He doesn't need it, but his name is Michael Savage is his name. And I'm telling you, I've been listening to him religiously on how to handle this. He knew that it was coming before it came. When people were still joking about COVID-19, he said, this is real. It's going to happen. He's not panicking anybody on it. He's saying, listen, you're not going to die from this, odds are, but it could debilitate you for the future. It takes a long time to recover. And he's talking about these medicines you should take, and a lot of people are saying vitamin D or zinc and tonic, or however they're saying it. He's saying none of that, and he's a doctor, and he just had a really good doctor on the other day talking about it as well. So I'm just saying, if people really want to know what's going on with this, and when I spot out and I talk about it, I'm using him as my knowledge. I'm listening to him. He's educating me on it more than anybody else. I'm not reading a million different articles. He's a doctor. He's an epidemiologist. I listen to what he's saying with this. So I just implore people to do that. Not that he's a multi-millionaire. I mean, he's been on the radio for 25 years and syndicated in the whole nine, but I've been a fan of his for years, and he's really on with this. So if anybody wants to know what's going on, I'm just telling you, you might not like his politics. I'm sure if there's a lot of Trump people, you don't like his politics, but he's calling out Trump for some of the dumb moves he's making with this COVID-19 too. So like I said, if you want to know what's happening, I would listen to Michael Savage, because he seems to be on point with everything that has happened. So just my advice, if you give a damn, because I sure as hell am not a doctor, but I will listen to somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about, obviously. So, all right, listen, Carrie, good luck with everything.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And when my dog needs groomed out of this, we'll roll on over there and get it taken.
Over. Absolutely.
All right, awesome. Good luck with everything. I'll talk to you later, Carrie.
Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. Yep. Bye. All right, there you go. That is Carrie. I love this program. Isn't this program awesome? Just click on people. I can have up to 6 people in here. So if you're a business and you want promoted, you've got daily deals. If you're a bar, I know there's a lot of bars that are doing these daily deals or wing deals, or I even saw that there was one locally that you could actually buy beer at. So get a hold of me. I'm happy to promote. I'm happy to throw you on. Talk about your business. I could have up to 5 people on here at the same time. All right. So there you go. TheMoRadioShow@gmail.com if you want to do it. You can obviously message me on Facebook as well if you know my phone number. Go ahead and shoot me a call too. And we'll get it done. All right. TheMoRadioShow@gmail.com. That's how we do it. She's still I don't think she realizes her camera's still on. I can still see her camera. She could probably hear me saying that. I'm like, oh, no, she turned it off. I'm like, all right, don't do something stupid that I accidentally catch. So very good. And as far as all this goes, man, as people are saying, stay home. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to think about it. I have no idea. These are times that I having a conversation with somebody the other day and saying that I don't think any theory is crazy because we've never lived this. We all have our own theories on it. I hope that they somehow find a vaccination. Obviously, the economy can't go through this every single year. There's a lot of, even with the dog, I wasn't even really kidding about that. I'm like, hey, man, if dogs could smell cancer, then, do it that way. Train a dog to tell you whether you got it or not. Obviously, we need vaccinations. Like I know some places in the area, they're taking your temperature as soon as you walk through the door. And if you have a temperature, you can't work. I've always been damned, and I would always come to work sick. I was always the person that would come to work sick. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really think about my people working with me or whatever. I was like, all right, I'm okay to go to work. And I worked alongside people, and you'd get damned for that. But I didn't want to take days off. It's just not, who I am. So, but in this case, take days off. If you got it, don't go around people. I know a lot of people are dealing with allergies right now, and take your temperature, because you don't really get a temperature with allergies. That's what I've been trying to do, because my allergies are kicking up a little bit, but it's not that. It's not the COVID-19. So that's all I can say, man. Hopefully, I want to talk about, there's a million things I want to talk about. I'll just do a show one day about everything going on. Obviously, I want to talk about sports. The Browns are having their big uniform reveal. I definitely want to talk about that. I hope they're not going to change anything. The Browns uniforms are the Browns uniforms. Don't mess with crap. Everything's fine. Don't mess with crap. Right? Seriously. When it comes to that, whether they're going to get Clowney or not, I wish the Tribe was playing right now. Although I think that as far as pitching goes and Clevenger, it's good to have this rest. I really wanted to know what the Cavs were going to do this year with the new coach, and they were playing a lot better. So there's a lot of, I guess, sports questions with what's going on, and that's about it, man. All right, the Mo Radio Show at gmail.com. If you would like to shoot me an email and be part of the business spotlight, all right? I'm sure I'll be doing another one of these later in the week. Talk to you later. Bye.